Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. Today is Monday, April 1st. We are officially in session. If everybody would please stand, Mr. Bardsley is going to lead us in prayer, and then Mr. Wright will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Shall we bow in an attitude of prayer? Gracious God, Heavenly Father, as we come to you this morning, we're grateful for the season we have come through, rejoicing in what you have done for mankind, bringing us hope and redemption. We pray, Father, that you will continue to bless our community. We ask that you will give us wisdom as we do the work of the people. And we'll thank you for your grace, your mercy, and your steadfast love. In your precious name we pray. Amen.
Please face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. All commissioners are present. Commissioner Wright, Commissioner Bardsley, and myself. We will move on to approval of claims. We have a pre-approval given on March 22nd, 2024. General was $255,324.41. Other, $130,936.06. Highway was $108,474.90. For a grand total of $494,735.37. And if there are no questions, I'll entertain a motion to ratify that pre-approval.
I'll make a motion that we ratify pre-approval given on 3/22/24 for claims.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Wright, second by Commissioner Bardsley. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. We have an approval of claims. General Fund, $155,425.30. Other, $108,971.66, for a grand total of $264,396.96. Any questions?
Mr. President, I would move that we pass claims for $264,396.96.
Second.
Approval by Commissioner Wright, second by Commissioner Bardsley. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so moved. We will move on to payroll number 7. Pre-approval was given on March 26th, 2024 for pay dated March 28th, 2024. Gross amount was $628,923.90. We normally don't discuss payroll, so I'll entertain a motion, please.
Mr. President, go ahead.
Motion to approve payroll number 7 as presented to ratify.
Second.
Approval by Commissioner Bardsley, second by Commissioner Wright. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so moved. I believe we have minutes to approve. Minutes dated for February 5th, 2024. I'm assuming you gentlemen have had a chance to review the minutes. Any questions, any changes?
We've already done the changes.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes for February 5th.
Mr. President, I would move that we pass the regular sessions February 5th, 2024 as presented.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wright, second by Mr. Bardsley. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so moved. And I will show the monthly report for the clerk of the circuit court dated February 29th, 2024 as received. Any questions or discussion about that, gentlemen?
No, sir.
All right, we are moving forward here pretty quick. Communications and board updates, elected officials, boards, special committees. Madam Auditor, anything for the good of the order?
Nothing to report.
All right. Is Mr. Jackson in? No? Anybody else?
I do have an agreement from Wildman. It's for the uniforms and rugs. It's the same agreement that David White
Okay.
presented at the last meeting. It's simply an extension. It's a 3-year extension with no price increase.
Okay.
Did we already vote on that or consent to that, or?
You did for David's. We'll need, this is a separate one for this building and the maintenance department.
Any questions or discussion?
Hard to believe that we got a 3-year contract without an increase. That's incredible. So I would make a motion that we accept the contract, the 3-year contract.
I would second that.
Motion by Commissioner Wright, second by Commissioner Bardsley. Any other questions or discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So moved.
Thank you.
I did see him, yes. I'll give him a second to get settled. I did want to talk real quick, briefly, during this time about the meeting that we're having next week. I believe it's on Tuesday, the 8th. Is that correct?
The ninth.
The 9th. I just kind of want to talk about the format during that meeting. We're going to discuss the industrial solar project. Kind of what I'm thinking, kind of what we're thinking, what we talked about was give 20 minutes to the pro-industrial solar group, give 20 minutes to the folks that are against industrial solar coming into Grant County. And then we would probably we'll kind of feel it out, 30 to 40 minutes of maybe just open discussion. So that'll kind of be, it'll just kind of be a loose agenda. That'll basically be the format of it. I do want to remind everybody that it is a public meeting and that I'm going to ask that we be respectful, courteous, no name-calling, accusations. It does need to be a constructive, positive dialogue during that meeting, or it'll be a quick meeting. So I wanted to make that clear.
And the time on that is?
6 o'clock. We have scheduled 6 to 7:30, so we have 90 minutes. So I'm hoping we have it done and wrapped up by 7:15, so somewhere around there. Anything else on that? Mr. Jackson, I saw you sneak in there. You have anything for us?
Sure. Good morning.
Good morning.
So we are 1 week away from the solar eclipse we've been planning for some time, and I'll be happy to be behind that. So we have our last solar eclipse task force meeting on Wednesday. We will finalize our plans. I really want to take an opportunity to thank all of the responding agencies who have worked to bring this thing to hopefully a safe conclusion. But a lot of time and effort has been put into planning and make sure that the county is fully protected. So we have resources that will be scattered across the county at every major intersection that we've identified so far as a potential issue. So we'll meet on Wednesday. I did receive a brief weather report today, so we're still a little bit out. We have a 72% chance of 50% coverage, so figure that however you like. But so toward the end of the week, we'll be getting daily updates now from the Weather Service. So toward the end of the week, I should have a higher confidence prediction for you. So we'll put that out as soon as we can. So a lot of planning and effort gone into that. So we'll see. Only other things we have, we will be putting out instead of having a monthly briefing this morning, we're going to do that through basically an email, and we'll post that, I think, on the website as well. There again, it's our way to keep that team together that came together during COVID and was really so effective in helping us deal with that. We want to make sure we maintain those relationships with the schools, hospitals, health department, all the people that really came together. So that goes out this morning as well. I think that's all I have. Be happy to take any questions.
Are you anticipating or foreseeing an influx of visitors into the county that they've been originally talking about for a while? Is it
Right.
looking-
Yeah, all the intel we've got so far is yes. And there again, depends somewhat on the weather. If it looks like it's going to be a good weather, then I would anticipate quite a bit of traffic to and through the county. Really, those people traveling from the north to the southern part, because we're the northern edge of the path of totality. So everything south of here is expecting a large influx, and they have a lot of different events planned, both in Madison and Delaware counties, and also to the south of there. So if it's socked in rain or snow, that will be less. So hate to pray for snow this time of year, but it's okay. We would rather everybody come and enjoy it, have a good time. It's a once in a lifetime thing. So
Did I understand? I thought I saw something where the state possibly has some funding to help out with extra costs to this. Have you seen anything like that?
I have not. I will look for it though.
If you could check on
Yeah.
that. For some reason, I was thinking I got an email or something about the possibility of that because they realize it's going to put a stress on our first
Right.
responders and things like that because all hands are on deck that day.
Right.
Just a reminder, our county offices are going to be closed, and I know Marion is going to be closed, and I believe Gas City is as well, just because of the volume, as well as schools are all out on e-learning days and stuff like that. So just as a reminder.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll keep a look for that funding. If there's an opportunity to recoup any of that, because we do have a lot of investment at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. IT report.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Morning.
Yep, I just wanted to report back. I'm still doing some information gathering on getting additional quotes for the items I brought forth at the last meeting. So I'm still working on that, but I'm hoping to have all that wrapped up this week, and then I can come back at the next meeting and present. So that's all I got.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you.
Highway Department, Mr. White.
Morning.
Morning.
A couple things. The resolution for getting the DocuSign, I accidentally messed up and didn't get it to Mr. Persinger in time, and he was on vacation last week. So hopefully next meeting we can get that presented in front of you. Along with that note is hopefully this week or the first of next week, they notify on community crossing grants for 2024 is what I've been hearing through the grapevine, when they're going to announce those. So might be a thing where we might have to let Mark still sign the DocuSign if we do get awarded until we get it changed for next round. So I'll just kind of see what comes about it. So on the lines with the Eclipse, I'm going to probably have 3 or 4 guys working with Mr. Jackson on the moving airboard signs and stuff around next Monday afternoon if he needs them throughout the county. So if we have a traffic accident or something like that, so we'll be working with his department to help get it people through the county if need to. I'd like to set up a date. United got done with our phase 2 bridge inspection. They'd like to come and present a 5-10 minutes. Just update you gentlemen. I didn't know what date would work good for you guys on next meeting or the meeting after or whatever would work for you. Next meeting be all right?
Does that sound all right to you, Justin?
Okay. And then Bridge 16 out on EOW, we opened it last Monday. We still got to put the last top of asphalt on it, but I would say it'd be middle of the month before we get the asphalt plant opened and everything. But that bridge is open to traffic now, and then we'll get it when the plant opens, finished with the asphalt approach done, so. We're still planning on start paving April 15th with Brooks Construction is the plan right now, so we'll start on those. We're going to start in the area 33rd and Central and do those. And then we got a little bit of area down around Home Avenue, and then we're going to head south from there, so kind of big circle. So that's all I have today.
Do you get any updates on State Road 9 Bridge?
Well, what I was told, it was going to be the end of November before it was opened.
Yeah. Is there, I'd love to either every other month or something like that, just kind of, if you could contact the state and just find out, are they ahead of schedule, behind schedule? It'd sure be nice to know that.
I've got the phone number for the inspector out there, so
Perfect.
I'll call him and I can update you, so.
Yeah, I think it'd be worth noting, and, because I know a lot of people are, I'm sure the people on Highland Avenue would really like to know that. They're just getting
Yeah.
bombarded by traffic. And,
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know that it's gonna be quite a while, and they were supposed to close, Main Street and Upland this morning, but I don't know with the weather if they
With the rain.
hold it off or not, but, yeah, they went ahead and let them close it even after Mr. Jackson asked them to wait till after next Monday, but they said the contract was let to go for April 1st, so. Right.
It's going to be a busy
So that'll
town.
be-
They got a big plan in there for the eclipse.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's all I have unless you,
Thank you.
okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to new business, inmate work crew agreement. Sheriff Garcia.
Good morning.
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 Thank you for your patience on this. It took us a while to have the city review the agreement, but we're still trying to go through some of our contracts that we have. And we noticed that this agreement with the city, the last agreement that was done was in 2006, so we thought it'd be nice to get that updated. We did change some things from the old agreement to this one. One of the things we noticed was that the county was actually paying for everything. So in this new agreement, we've kind of divided some of the things up between the city and the county. The city will provide all the mowing equipment and the gas to mow that. And then they'll also recognize the fact that the two work crew deputies actually do have vacation time and sick time, personal time that they can take. But what happened in the past is when they would take that time off, we would have to replace them with someone. Well, with manpower and staffing being an issue, it affected our missions that we had. So as part of this agreement, they'll be allowed to take their time without having us replace them for that day or that week. The one thing we will do is monitor and make sure they don't take vacation time in the same week. So this is just basically to update the information on that. The only thing is we'll need to, since it's been a while since they reviewed it, is change the date from March 1st to April 1st. But if you guys could approve it to do that, we'll get that changed and get those signed. And I'll answer any questions.
I don't have any questions.
Good.
No, so don't have any.
So we're looking for an approval to approve this pending the change from March 1st to change that date
Yeah, to April 1st.
to April 1st. Okay.
I would make that a motion for the agreement with the city of Marion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Barnsley, second by Commissioner Wright to approve the inmate work crew agreement. Any other questions or discussion? All those in favor, say aye, please.
Aye.
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 Thank you. I do want to let you know, we do have our MRAP in, if you guys want to come by, take a look at it. It's in the Sally Port. It's been painted and fixed up to what, for police use. So
Huh?
want to invite you to come look at it when you're done.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Sheriff. Terrace Street Health Department, presentation of fee ordinance.
Good morning.
Good
Morning.
morning.
So we, am I okay to move this back? We were hoping to make some adjustments to our fee ordinance. We need to remove a few things from the nursing section, as well as just change some wording. There was a section where we would offer, in the previous ordinance, we were offering CPR training to county employees for $10. And we were asking to remove that. At this point, the materials cost more than $10, so we would take a loss on any county employee. Still a pretty good deal to get CPR training for $30. The section that says we would like to remove TB certifications, we no longer have anyone qualified to do that, and it's training that to become certified to certify in TB just doesn't seem like a good, seems like a waste of our time, basically. We are so focused on lead and TB control that we don't have time to train other people in TB certification.
Any of the new positions, could any of them adopt that underneath their wing, or do we have to keep them specific?
Well, it requires consistent upgrading of your training to be able to train others, and it's just simply to read TB tests. All of our staff can read them, so the need to train other people to read them just seems unnecessary. We also would like to change the terminology in the old fee ordinance that said universal precautions training to bloodborne pathogens training. It's just a technicality. Universal, it's an outdated term, universal precautions. And then remove a clause that provides where the health department would provide vaccine to outside agencies at cost. We no longer purchase our vaccine. We contract it. We schedule an appointment through a company. They make sure we have the vaccine in time to meet the appointment. So we don't have the ability to purchase vaccine anymore, therefore we can't provide it to other agencies at cost. Then moving on to the next page, under environmental health services, we would like to add a septic permit application fee. We have many people that bring in their septic application. Our environmentalists spend hours getting their permits drawn up with the requirements, and then they don't come in and pick them up. They change their mind, so we would like to charge a $50 fee when you drop that off, just to recoup the time the cost of the time invested in getting that permit ready. We would like to, on the next page, with the new Indiana code, we are required to allow holding tanks on properties, and that requires that we monitor, I believe it's semi-annually, we monitor that they're having it attended and pumped. So we would like to charge a $100 fee for holding tanks. And then under the tattoo and body piercing, we would like to add penalties for artists and or establishments that don't follow the rules. Actually, the tattoo ordinance is the next thing we're going to discuss. Any violation can create a long-term and or lifetime issue for clients, patients, the general public. So we feel like harsh penalties will deter people from breaking the rules. And then we would like to add penalties for public and semi-public pools that have to be closed and require repeat visits to be able to reopen. And that's all the changes that we're asking to make to the previous fee ordinance. So I will gladly discuss any questions you have.
I have a question. Sure. Has the installation of an on-site septic system without a permit been $15,000 this entire time? Has it?
No, that's a new penalty. That's a new It was not in the old fee ordinance, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah. I mean,
So that's a brand new, or did we just adjust the,
Oh, no, I'm sorry, that was in the old.
It was in the
ordinance.
old
It was in
ordinance.
the old ordinance, that is
Okay.
not a change,
Okay.
my mistake.
any other questions, gentlemen?
Okay, so
I think I've asked the same question before, but we ratify this and then we advertise it, is that correct? Or has it already been advertised on fees? I just remember when we change fees, we have to advertise, so.
I don't believe it's been advertised, I think the commissioner's office does that.
Is that after we adopt?
Yes, yes. And I'm not sure. I'll double check to see if we're responsible for advertising that.
So we need an ordinance number today.
And just to add to, I would, if you guys are going to act on this, I would suggest that you do so pending attorney review. He hasn't got his final stamp on it yet, so.
Okay.
So my understanding, there was some changes that he has taken a look at, but he hadn't got his final stamp on the changes that you made,
Right,
correct?
he did look at it, we made some additions and changed some wording, but
Okay.
he has not seen it since
Okay.
then, that is
Okay.
correct.
Okay,
We're asking for a July 1st effective date, so it gives him time.
okay, all right. So do we go ahead and just bring this back, maybe at our next meeting, or do you want to go ahead and pass it as,
You can do it either way, pending attorney approval, or I can get our attorney to make any corrections and then bring it back for final approval.
I say since we're already here and have it before us, we approve it
okay?
pending attorney approval.
Chair,
I
ready
like
for a
that
motion?
better.
Yes, sir.
I'll need an ordinance number 5. Mr. President, I would move that we pass the Grant County Health Department fee ordinance number 5-2024 or 2024-5, pending attorney approval.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Wright, second by Commissioner Bardsley to approve the Grant County Health Department fee ordinance number 2024-5 pending attorney approval. All those in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Body and piercing ordinance.
Tattoo and body piercing ordinance.
I'm sorry, tattoo and body piercing ordinance, yes.
So the last ordinance was updated in 2012, and since that time, the State Department of Health is requiring local health departments to have more oversight and governance of tattoo and body piercing in general. So we felt like our ordinance needed much more clarity, definition, and some teeth for enforcement capacity. So what you have before you is the amended version. It just spells out much more clearly what tattoo and body piercing is, where it is and is not acceptable to perform. It does allow exception for, sometimes we'll have an event, Hog Days is a good example, where someone will come in just to do a weekend event. They still have rules and regulations to follow, but it does allow for that. It has some verbiage about penalties and fines that our previous ordinance did not. I believe the attorney has looked at this one as well, suggested a few minor changes that we did, and now the health board has already approved, actually all 3 of these. And we're looking for your approval as well.
So Mr. Persinger has reviewed this, has made changes.
But has not seen it since the changes were done.
Okay.
Correct.
So I would probably recommend we maybe do the same thing with this one as we did the last one. Approve with attorney approval.
And I see they're asking for July 1st as the start date on
Right.
this as well.
Right.
Ordinance number 6, correct? Any discussion, any questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Mr. Mr. President, I'd move to approve tattoo and body piercing ordinance of Grant County 2024-6 as presented with an attorney review and approval.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Bardsley, second by Commissioner Wright to approve tattoo and body piercing ordinance of Grant County 2024-6. All those in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Aye. So moved. And on-site septic ordinance.
So this one, House Bill 1402 voided all local health, all 92 counties' on-site septic ordinances effective July 1st of 2023. So basically, we've been functioning without one since that date. The House Bill 1402 also required the Indiana Department of Health to set up a technical review panel to approve every county's on-site septic ordinance before it could be enacted. So we have been working with our state advisor to create the on-site septic ordinance that you have before you. This basically follows state rule with a few exceptions that we're under the impression the TRP will approve. We have asked for an exception because Grant County has heavy clay soils, which require a little bit different septic system than average soil. We are requesting that we still be allowed to continue contractor registration, which just requires them to make sure they have some certifications and then be registered with the health department. We did require that they have be bonded and have liability insurance, and the TRP will not allow that requirement any longer. They feel like that's the health department interjecting theirself in a legal matter between the landowner and the contractor. So where we can allow them to be registered to make sure they know what they're doing, we cannot require them to be bonded or insured anymore. Are there any other major differences? I brought my subject matter expert with me here. Yeah, you can come on up. Any other major differences between the state code and what we're proposing?
Morning.
The soil pits, they don't want us to require that, but we're asking for, in the ordinance, that we allow that if needed. The soil scientists will look at the soils and they'll get with us. If seems to be a real heavy clay, they may want to do those pits and then send that off to a lab to where they can tell the differences in, the percentage of clays and stuff like that. We do have what they call the shrink swell clays in the county. That's where if it gets wet, it swells up and it seals off basically, which will cause it to fail pretty quickly. And that's the reason that we're asking for that. Trying to think what else. It seems like there was something else.
I don't recall any other differences.
I think for new construction, I believe we've got in here,
Oh, the 1 acre requirement?
yes, a 1 acre requirement. That is something new. But area plan does have a 1 acre requirement for new construction, so we just kind of wanted to go up with them on that. Because some of what we run into now is the old systems. They have postage size lots, and it's very difficult to find a place to put a system on. So that's why we're asking for that.
The 1 acre allows for additional space when your system, if or when your system fails. And if you live there 100 years, it's going to. It allows for enough space to have another system on your property.
Plus, you have to maintain, like if you got neighbors on both sides, you have to be 50 feet from every well in the area. So that could be extremely difficult if you got people on all 4 sides of you, or 3 sides.
So the 1 acre requirement is not in the state of Indiana, we are requiring it.
I'm thinking about some of the Southeast Marion properties. How does this new ordinance affect them? Because I know we've gone round and round about smaller
New construction only.
new construction.
Yes, that's if you're buying an acre, or a plot of land, we would like that to be an acre.
And does this deal with our existing, or do we have another ordinance that works with existing properties, smaller parcels that have those systems on them?
Those
don't-
are a case-by-case
Yeah, that's-
situation, and there usually aren't good, easy
No,
answers
there
to any of
aren't.
those.
There aren't.
Yes, I'm thinking of Glendale, right? Or
That's another-
Brookhaven.
that's
Yeah.
another- I'm
We've-
thinking
right, I
Southeast
mean-
We've got a
Marion.
few different areas that's like that we're dealing with, and we're gonna have to figure something out on that.
Okay.
But this alleviates that too. I mean, it won't be a future issue.
So if there's a
Okay.
building lot, I'm just scenarios here, if there's a building lot in one of those subdivisions, or if, let's say a home burns down in one of those subdivisions, they are not, if they're gonna build new, how, is that grandfathered in because there was a house there
Okay,
before,
so
or?
If,
I'm just trying to understand the,
Yes, if the house burns down and they're planning on putting it on the exact same spot, it'd have to be the same amount of bedrooms, but if the system that's there, if they get it inspected and it's up to par, functioning properly and not damaged, they can reuse that. But we have to have an inspection done to verify that.
and the only reason I
That
bring
would
that,
almost go under the classification of a repair instead of a new construction
Right, replacement, repair.
in our office.
okay. I just, yeah, I can see a burnt out house sitting there for a long time if it's not marketable.
Right.
Really can in some of those
Well,
subdivisions.
just like a neighbor whose system failed, I mean, we would work, the state comes in and works with us sometime on,
Okay.
we would work and figure out something to
Okay.
make it happen.
The new holding tanks, that's an option for something like that as well. The new holding tank thing that we've got in there, that's something that they're allowing now, that we had they're wanting it in the ordinances. So that is an option.
Okay.
It just requires pumping and maintenance and that kind of thing, but. So this is one we believe, when we submit it to the technical review panel, that they will approve. If for some reason the commissioners aren't happy with this and we start all over, we go back to the health board and then we come back to the commissioners and then we go to the TRP. And if the TRP rejects it for some reason, we start all over too.
Has Kyle reviewed this at all?
No.
Okay.
Actually, this was done by the
In-
health board attorney, wasn't it?
Indiana Department of Health,
Oh,
yes.
Indiana Department.
This is the template they sent, and then we just added in the few, our exceptions, and then we have to submit specific paperwork defending our exceptions and that type of thing.
Kyle does have it in his email. We're just waiting on his response.
Okay.
I would like to get it to the technical review panel by April 11th, and they'll hear it on the 29th. They just meet once a month, but they need a 2-week to advertise and review before they meet.
So it would be helpful to you if we approve this today.
Because as of now, we
Pending.
don't have a septic ordinance in Grant County at all.
Okay.
Well, as of July 1st of last year.
Gentlemen, I'm going to ask that we treat this the same as we did the other two, that we approve. I'm going to ask for an approval, but pending Kyle's review.
Yep.
Especially since there's a little bit of a time crunch with,
Chair's ready for a motion.
yes, sir.
I will make a motion that we pass the on-site sewage system ordinance 2024-7, pending the attorney approval.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Commissioner Wright, second by Commissioner Barnsley to approve the on-site sewage systems ordinance 2024-7. All those in favor say aye, please.
Aye.
Aye.
And Justin has hard copies for signature when you're ready.
Thank you.
Thank you.
By the 11th? Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Gas City Mill Township Public Library Board appointment. Justin.
So we have a recommendation before you from the Library Director, Jennifer Vermillion. The appointment of Mary Stoltz has expired as of 12/31/23. Her recommendation is Justin Kelly for the appointment.
Any questions about that? I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we approve Justin Kelly for the Gas City Mill Township Public Library appointment.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Wright, second by Commissioner Bardsley to approve Justin Kelly for the Gas City Mill Township Public Library Board. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved with Commissioners' thanks to Mrs. Stoltz for her service. And we also thank Justin Kelly for his willingness to serve. So. Number 7 on the agenda has been tabled for now. Number 8, EMS building discussion. Commissioner Wright?
Mr. President, if we could go back to
Swayze.
number 6, we have a Swayze Public
Oh,
Library
I
appointment.
am sorry, I checked that off.
Okay.
Got ahead of myself
Two
there.
library appointments today.
Okay.
This one comes on from Director Stephanie Brittle. Patricia Weineken's appointment has expired as of March 2024. The recommendation is for Jennifer DeBon.
Any questions, gentlemen? If not, I'll take a motion to approve Ms. DeBon for the Swayze Public Library Board.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Wright, second by Commissioner Bardsley. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It is approved, again, with the thanks of the board. Any other library board appointments you got over there, Justin?
That's it.
We all caught up?
We're good, thank you.
Commissioner Wright?
Yeah, so as you know, the EMS building, we had a fire last year. Glad to say that our EMS now is back out there, working out of that building, the new building. And we are needing to, after having 2 different people go out and take a look at it, it's not good for anything anymore, the one that burned. Recommendation from those 2 companies who said that it's not good would just be to tear it down and go from there. We do need to build training facilities out there so we can train our EMT people, as well as have our EMS area out there for classroom space. I think there's 7 rooms needed for a walk-around type thing. Skilled training that they have to do. So, we just don't have the facilities anywhere that we have. So, our recommendation, or their recommendation would be to build a new building with that in mind. We did get probably around 700 and some odd thousand for the damage from insurance company. And so we'll be taking a look at that, but I just wanted to bring it up as far as the need to build that. And really, we need to probably get started this spring. I did talk to Mr. White. Mr. White said that he can actually take down the building. He can't bury the wood out of it, but Mr. Jackson said he would love to play with fire. And so he said he'd take the wood and kind of take care of that. Yep, got a thumbs up. And so we can go ahead and do that. He'll use that for training exercises that he's going to do. So with the permission of, we'll just keep on pushing forward and seeing how this looks. And then in the future, we'll be bringing in information on what this is going to look like. If that makes sense. I just wanted to bring it up to get an approval. Looks like we have a.
Well, I held off on the container purchase till
Okay.
I knew that was gonna happen, because I didn't see the reason to purchase those if we were gonna keep an old part of the building
Yeah.
for our stuff, our records. But if that's the case, then we can move forward with purchasing those shipping containers. have another ask of you with the holidays coming up, not holidays, festivals coming up. We've had a golf cart 20 years, a secondhand golf cart about 20 years. Because there's places in these festivals, you guys been to James Dean or Ducktail Run, you can't get a person down there, let alone an ambulance. So we use this golf cart to get patients in and out. It's on its last leg. I've got a couple proposals for a new, it's gonna be a utility vehicle is what these proposals are. I talked to Justin, I got 3 estimates. Do you want one too?
Yeah.
There's 4. The lowest bid came in from what used to be Max Pits in Peru. It's called Maximum Power Sports now. It'd just be a replacement to our current golf cart utility vehicle. The first 2 pages are from the same place. They included a title. That would be to replace the golf cart and just use it, like I said, in the festivals. It doesn't get ran in the winter, hardly ever, but boy, in the summertime. It's, I wanna say, is yours a Can-Am? John Deere. Gas City has a Can-Am. It's very similar. I came and asked over there what you guys had, where you got it. It's a pretty basic, and we're not gonna have to modify this one because it's got the double back seat. We modified the golf cart to put a cot in it. Don't really need that with this back seat. To be honest with you, the patients that we've had in the middle of these public festivals where there's thousands of people, you put them in there and you get to the ambulance anyway. It's it's been 20 plus years, and in fact, I think we bought it from Gas City, didn't we? When they got there, yeah. And it's just a little gas powered golf cart, so it's done its duty.
Are we looking at gas powered on this or electric?
Yes, it's gas. This is last year's model. It's brand new, but it's last year's model.
Are the accessories there on the right, is that separate?
It is separate because if you buy it without those, you don't have a top. Yeah, it's included in the total there.
It is
It is.
included.
Yes,
Okay,
it's
that's-
included in the total, yeah.
yeah, I think you'd want a roof for heat, right, in the summer festivals.
Or rain, or, you know,
Right,
just
right.
whatever. Ducktail is even worse than James Dean now, really, because of the park situation. They camp down there, and it's just shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah. Do you have funds in your account
Yeah,
to take
I
care of
do.
this? Okay.
Any other questions?
Is the first one your recommendation?
What, I'm
The
sorry?
one on top, is that your
Yeah.
recommendation?
It's the lowest one. I've not driven the park.
I have no question at
I
all
don't
that
either.
it's needed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would move to approve the purchase of the, you said Can-Am,
Yeah, I think that's what it's called, right, Darryl?
Yeah, it's
Can-Am?
as presented in the amount of $17,318.
I'll second that.
Motion
there-
by Commissioner
Oh, I'm sorry.
Barzey, second by Commissioner Wright. Any other discussion?
What happens to the old one?
We can decommission it, we can put it in the auction, we can keep it for, that's a big area you guys got us on out there. We can use it, we technically have been using it to move large pieces of furniture to and from the old building. So it's turned out to be like an electronic cart for us, so whatever you decide is fine with us, but we are using it. We wouldn't use it, if you allow us to keep it, we won't use it in the festivals though. It would be like you'd have on your property at home.
Okay.
We just put file cabinets on it the other day.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. It is approved.
you. Is there any other direction you want me to take as far as the old building goes? You want me to get the containers? You want me to just continue cleaning out the old building of our stuff? And once we get the shipping containers, we can put our storage in them, our records.
Are they watertight? That was my
Yes,
concern.
yes. Some of them aren't, but the ones I'm looking at are.
Okay.
Yeah. I know Tara has a lot of stuff to go in there. You do. I know. I do. Assessor does not, and what she's got out there currently can be destroyed, but she may have things in the future, you know? So, yeah, I'm looking at the watertight ones, absolutely.
And correct, tell us what that cost is again. Isn't it like $3,000 a piece?
No.
Or what is it?
Unfortunately.
No, what is it?
The watertight one that J-Trans has is 8,000.
8,000? Okay. And you need
Now-
2 of those?
Well, I think we can do records with one, because Tara's preparedness equipment is like a whole other animal. We probably have room in our loft area for that, in our new building. I don't think we know exactly how much you're gonna have yet. We're just not done. It's about 20 degrees colder in that building, for one thing. I guess it's the brick. I don't know. It's absolutely freezing in there still. And it's pretty dirty. I'm not gonna have any records. All mine qualify for destruction. All the assessors qualify for destruction. Tara and Angie have some that she's gonna need, so I think we can do it with one. The only other reason I had said 2 in the future is for us to have a place to put the stuff we need temporarily till the building's tore down and the new one's built. And that's classroom stuff. We've got tables, chairs, wipe-off boards, training mannequins, all sorts of matter of stuff like that. That's just, and you need to come out and see us. We're all set up, we're functioning, but you'll see that we don't have a place for that classroom stuff. So a second storage container, lower price, doesn't have to be like the records one, just temporarily, and then we sell it or you use it for something else.
The preparedness stuff, if there was an opportunity to store that preparedness stuff not in the loft, I prefer that option. We're talking the divider screens, we're talking cases of masks and gloves and.
In our loft in our new building,
And storage lights. Yeah, I don't want to have to haul that stuff up. Those big lights for disasters. I
that's
don't have to
fine.
haul
I
that
mean,
stuff
we
up
can
and
put
down.
it
So
in the
if we
shipping
can
container.
do a separate storage building, personally, I think that would be a better option
It would-
for preparedness.
They have them with the doors on the end, they have them with the doors on the side. They're a little bit more expensive, but Bobby and I are gonna take a look at them and see what's the best route for us. But watertight is the one thing that we're shooting for.
Okay.
So that's, anything else you can think of?
Do you have the money in your account to do those?
We were gonna use insurance money for that, since, probably contents money, since that's really part of it.
Yep.
We wouldn't need
Yep.
it otherwise. I'm about 2 invoices shy of being done with my contents now. I'm waiting on one from one vendor, and then I just saw an email, I've got one there. So that's about to be wrapped up. He'll be cutting you another check when I send him all that.
Okay.
And then I think the rest of it would be building structure-wise for his settlement.
Do we need to have a invoice for the containers before we take action?
Or like a proposal I
I
can
would
get.
say yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So could you come back to our
Yes,
next meeting
absolutely.
here coming up this month?
If I survive the eclipse.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, that'd be good. Make sure you wear glasses.
I got glasses.
Okay.
I bought them for all the crews. because,
Okay, good.
Well, there's a 72% chance that it's 50%.
It's 50%, yeah, 72,
Did
but
write
it's
that down,
50.
Bob.
I like that. That sounds like Yogi Berra kind of statistics. All right,
Thank you.
gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we will move on to public comment. At this time, the public is invited to speak for the board. Please approach the podium when recognized by the president and state your name and address. Comments should be addressed to the board. and be limited to items on the agenda. No complaints, accusations, or name-calling regarding personnel can be allowed during the public discussion time. A time limit of 3 minutes will be given. If more than one person is represented for a group, one spokesperson will be heard. It is expected that professionalism and courtesy is displayed at all times during the public comments portion of the meeting. We'll start online first. Is there anybody online that would wish to speak? I'm not good at reading that. I'm not seeing anything
I
pop
don't
up,
see any
right?
hands or any.
Okay. Anybody present that would like to speak?
Jackie Sheets, Southern Grant County. I have a question on this $15,000 of our tax dollars that you guys paid a lobbyist to raise our income tax so that Grant County now has the highest in the state. Can you please explain what that was all about? And how, and
Yeah,
are we allowed to have any say when you guys do that?
I can speak to that. We didn't raise taxes. The commissioners cannot raise taxes. If we wanted to, we cannot raise taxes. All we did is we hired Craig DeVault to represent us at the State House. And quite honestly, it's surprising to me that we have not had a lobbyist down there before. Almost every county in Grant County has a lobbyist at the State House representing their interests. All we did was got permission to, in this instance that we possibly can't afford the jail based on what the county council can afford. So let's just say they say we can afford a $60 million jail. And if we get sued by the state and the state says it's going to cost you $90 million, we have to pay for that $30 million difference somewhere. And that allows the county tax council to increase the tax for Grant County if they choose. If they say, we're not doing this, or we can pay for it another way, that's great. The tax does not get raised, nothing changes. I don't know where you got that we raised taxes. The commissioners cannot raise taxes. The tax council for the county, and keep me honest here, they're the only body in the county that can raise taxes. We give them the tool to possibly do that down the road if they saw fit and if they choose.
Okay.
So, does that answer your question?
Kind of.
Okay, thank you.
I think that 15,000 though could have helped do some repairs on the jail though.
Okay.
Commissioners,
Yes, sir.
I'm going to follow up with the subject that Ms. Sheets just raised.
Can you state
My
your
name's
name, sir?
Michael Duke, Grant
Just-
County, East
I'm
Bradford
sorry.
Pike.
Justin, are you keeping track of time?
I can.
Okay, please do. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
As I indicated before the meeting, I have a statement that has got some facts and questions in it, and it'll take about roughly 3.5 to 4 minutes. I
Okay.
will try to abide by
Thank
your limitation. I'm not going to be on a rant here. House Bills 1120 and 1121. Craig DeVault. I'll be using a visual aid to express my righteous indignation of the principles of civility and decorum restrict me from uttering in this venue. And my visual aid is purely to be illustrative, to add emphasis to the first paragraph I'm going to read. Jackie Gleason may have referred to this as an attention-getting device. You might have seen something like this in a satirical cartoon at times as an expression of language. What in the name of everything holy and sacred in the principles of our republic's self-governance was being thought when this 0.5% local income tax mechanism pertaining to Grant County was contrived and slipped into Indiana code through the state's legislative process via House Bills 1120 and 1121. A local income tax mechanism that provides for up to an additional 0.5% rate on adjusted gross income. I heard what you said, Commissioner Stewart. But I'm going to go further. In HB 1121's language, such a rate change would have been under the control of the county council. Then along comes 1120, which then struck the county council language and altered the control of the rate change mechanism to the local income tax council. Both bills were passed and signed into Indiana code on the same dates. By the way, what is the local income tax council? That's new news to me. And who is seated on the council? Should this onerous 0.5% rate be applied fully, it seems Grant County's local income tax rate, as Ms. Sheets said, would then be the highest LIT rate in Indiana. Need to remind the roots of our republic are based in the King of England's imposition of onerous taxes on American colonies and the quartering of British soldiers in the homes of colonists, arguably forms of robbery and eminent domain. Remember our high school American history class where we learned the principle of no taxation without representation. When and where were the commissioner's agenda items for public hearing and community citizen input on changes to the local income taxing mechanism and rates as related to lobbyists and the current jail issue? I ask your forbearance.
How much longer, sir?
I have one more page.
If you could
I
make-
want to be clear here as I don't
That's
want
okay.
to talk too fast. I understand the county council members were unknowledgeable of these House bills until about 3 weeks ago as the bills were being passed and sent to the governor for signature on or about March 13th. Why were the county council members not included in discussions on this income tax rate mechanism? Again, where were the public discussions and hearings? This year, public funds have been dispersed to Cat Sapper Miller in the amount of $25,000 for services related to the jail study. Another $15,000 is expected to be dispersed to Craig DeVault for governmental affairs services and outreach to the Indiana General Assembly and the Indiana State Administration in regard to the goals of Grant County Commissioners. Commissioners' goals? What are these goals? How were these services related to these House bills? Further, State Senator Scott Baldwin was assigned as a Senate advisor to both these bills on March 5th. It's interesting to note that Senator Baldwin is the Chief Executive Officer of Envoy Companies. Envoy Companies being the consultant retained by Grant County to manage the jail project. How do all these data points relate? What other revelations might Grant County citizens need to prepare themselves to hear from the kings of the 6th floor of this building? Will there be further Machiavellian intrigues and ploys that have yet to be seen in daylight? I got 2 paragraphs to go. In basic civics,
If you could wrap it up.
I will.
I'd appreciate it
I will.
respectfully.
in basic civics, it is well understood public governance matters and stewardship best be discussed and debated in open public forum. The best medicine for keeping our self-governance processes and elected bodies above board and transparent is sunshine on and visibility of the activities and purposes of planning, allocating, distributing of public funds, i.e. the taxes that are taken from the citizens' hard-earned income, as well as other public matters. It appears that Grant County needs a lot of medicine. To start, I'm presenting the commissioners and the county administrator with a FOIA request pertaining to Craig DeVault and KSM's consulting and lobbying services and others associated with these House bills.
Thank you, sir.
And as soon as I leave, I'm going across the street and I will give a copy to Mr. Person. Sir?
Thank you.
Mr. Bartlett, your copy.
Thank you.
Mr. Stewart. I thank you for your attention this morning.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else? Good morning, sir.
Yes,
Good morning.
good morning. April Fool.
Can you state your name, sir?
I'm sorry, Charles Weaver. I've been to the APC meetings, and I've been to your commissioners' meetings, and I want to compliment you on how you run them. At the APC meeting, I was embarrassed for Marion on the way that was run, and the comments that were made to each other and to their staff. And I want to say one thing. I like respect. You should have respect. And the way you guys run it here, I think, is we got a good board, and you know what you're doing, and people are not ranting and raving on how you do it. So I just wanted to say thank you, and don't believe what everybody says on April 1st. But you can believe that is how I feel. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate those words. Anybody else?
Cale Grindle, Jonesboro. I believe it was the October commissioner meeting that it was asked to the board if you guys would take campaign contributions from solar contractors, any other various entities. Mr. Wright and Ron, you both said no, and Mark, for whatever reason, it took you a couple months to say no.
Cale, can I interrupt you? I didn't say no. I just said I can't imagine solar companies would want to donate to me since I was against solar.
So are you open to it?
I'll take a campaign contribution from anybody. It's not going to change my mind. I mean, if I'm against solar, I'm against solar. If they want to give me money, they can.
Okay,
But
well,
it's
that's
not
fair.
going to change my mind.
That's fair. At least, Steve, you did say you would not take campaign contributions. And the reason I bring this up is because I got, and I believe a lot of other people, got a mailer, which, you know, you guys obviously aware of. But what interests me is the PO box that was associated from the mailing address. Wondered if maybe you guys wanted to explain to the public where it came from? Mark or Steve?
I mean,
Well, what's the PO box?
It is PO Box 167 Marion, which comes to J.G. Bowers, which I believe you guys hired to fix a building, repair building, something on Garthwaite. Is that correct? No?
no,
I don't know.
Nope.
I don't think so.
he was one of the contractors that we called out there, and he was the one that gave us the advice as well as the Halstead. We've had two local companies trying to use local companies to take a look and hopefully hire local people to do that project out there.
So you guys didn't pay him $7,000 or $9,000 to fix a plumbing repair out there?
Not that I'm aware of. If it was before my time.
They've worked on different projects for the county.
I mean, we have a lot of people working on projects, right?
Yeah.
Other elected officials, right? We have a
Yeah.
lot of people
course.
working on projects here
course.
for the county, because we're trying to spend the dollars local. So I guess my question is, where's this going? This isn't a political statement. We're just trying.
I'm just trying to kind of come to terms with your statements of not taking campaign donations from contractors. And yet, here we are with an address associated with a contractor.
You can take a look at my campaign contributions list when it's filed, I think 2 weeks before, and take a look. You're more than welcome to that because it's public record.
We will be taking a look.
I'm sure you will.
Okay.
Thank you, Cale. Thank you. Anybody else?
Linda Morgan from Upland. Through some conversations, we had talked about different ways to avoid spending millions and millions of dollars to build a new jail. I know that's a goal. And with that mailing, you wanted to prioritize public safety. And I'd like to see some money put into some various places, which would include increasing the pay for the prosecutors and public defenders. And the biggest things are to improve access to addiction services, mental health care, and the children's services. We don't do near enough for those people because that is a major part of who is in our jail. And I feel like if we can help those folks, we're not going to be overcrowded. So that's what I wanted to bring up.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Creech, if you're coming up to talk about the Purdue game last night, you can take all the time you want this morning.
All I want to.
You have the floor.
Did you hear that they're suspending Edie for the next game, though?
This better be a
Comment
joke.
on CBS.
No.
It's April Fools.
April Fools, baby!
He got you. He got you.
Yeah, thank you for the mild heart attack this morning.
I had a couple questions on the lobbyist.
Yes, sir.
Okay, in my prior work experience, I had a lot of work with lobbyists, and it sounds like you have got a specific direction for this lobbyist, which that's a good thing. But, you know, how do you measure the result of that? And when do you get out of it? How do you get out of it? That's the first part of my statement. And then the second is Marion City has a lobbyist they hired that paid $36,000. You're paying. Is there not any way that you could have some coordination between the two? Because their definition of what they're having their lobbyists work on is very vague. It sounds like a shotgun approach, and it sounds like you guys are more directed with your cause with the lobbyists. But again, lobbyists have a good way of saying, we're almost there. Just extend me for another year. I just want to know how you are going to measure the effectiveness of that and what the return on investment is, what that bar is.
Okay.
And is that clearly defined, and is there a job description for that lobbyist?
Yeah, I'll answer that for you. There's no job description. It's kind of a shotgun approach. So basically what it does, for some reason, lobbyists has a bad connotation to it, and it's not. It's somebody down in the State House that, like, you can't go down, I can't go down. It's somebody down there in the State House while they're set that's just basically looking out for Grant County, anything that comes along the pike that we need to know about. Because before, we never had that. Yes, this, Craig DeVault was hired to give us that tool in our toolbox down the road in case the tax council needs it. Because I've said this, I keep saying this, and I'll continue to say it. The jail is to the point where it's not if, it's just when. It's when is it going to be built, and who's going to build it? Are we going to do it and have control of the finances and what goes into it, and for a little bit, the cost? Or are we going to get sued at some point, like, correct me if I'm, Allen County? There was a county down south in Indiana, and Howard County has just gotten sued, Vigo County, yeah, to where the state steps in and says, all right, you guys haven't done this, we're going to do it for you, and here's the cost. So the lobbyist is just down there to represent Grant County's interests, to look for anything that we need to know about, because before, we didn't have anybody there, so there may have been some things going on that we needed to know about that we didn't know about. counties all over Indiana, I think almost every county has one, has some kind of representation. Municipalities, cities have lobbyists down there representing their interests.
Yeah,
To answer your question, that is a good question though with the city of Marion. There's been 36,000 on theirs. We spent 15. It's a year-by-year contract. I think it's year by year. So, we can discontinue it at any time, but I don't think that's, I think it's, while I'm on the board, if I have anything to say about it for the next 2 years, I feel like we need to have somebody down there looking out for Grant County. Now, to go to your second question, that is a good question, whether we could partner possibly with the city of Marion and kind of get duplication of services. Maybe we can go into it, and the city of Marion and Grant County have just one. But before Mayor Morrell was in there, and before we decided to do this, Grant County had no representation at all.
Right, and I understand the lobbyists, like I said, I dealt with them, but what is the data point, the data points that they bring to you, and what is the review process? Do they come back with you quarterly and say, look, I went to 15 lunches, drank 18 glasses of champagne, and I rubbed elbows with this person?
No, it's just
Or
an as-needed
did they
basis.
effectively
Yeah,
say, I went into this meeting, this meeting, this meeting, and they lay that out for you in a structured format so that you can measure?
Yeah, there's really nothing like that. It's just they will let us know if there's anything that we need to know.
Can I sign up for that job?
Thank you, Mr. Creech. Anybody else?
Mark Frankel. Question about this House Bill 1120 that went through, and then 1120 that Lori Gross Reeves voted for and Andy Zay, and then 1121 went through, or it was proposed, and they had this percentage of the tax in that, and Lori and Andy voted against that. Why? Why did they vote against that?
You'd have to ask them, sir. I have no idea.
I mean, they had to have some influence, first of all, that the lobbyist would add that in there. And, but it got passed. Of course, I realize it has to go to the tax council, but somebody here is talking to the lobbyist, and that's you three guys here.
I thought we just said that.
Linda Morgan again.
This will be the last comment here.
Okay. What I was wondering, you said we don't have any representation down at the State House. So the representatives that we have elected to go down there, how do they give us information back?
Maybe, I might maybe use the poor choice of words. We have representation through elected officials,
Right.
but
But do
nobody
they come
specifically-
back and give you guys any reports?
I don't hear from them a whole lot. I don't know if Steve or Mark does, but it's, again, kind of like I stated to Mr. Creech, it's kind of like as an as-needed basis. Like if there's something going on, then they'll reach out to us and let us know. But I've been on the board I've been doing this now for 15, 16 months, and I haven't heard anything from them specifically.
I think we should hold them more accountable. I've just got a quick example.
Sure.
So I worked in Blackford County Hospital over 30 years. And the councils over in that town did not know that the hospital was going to close its inpatient and emergency department until the same time as the employees learned about it. And I don't know if it's because they didn't ask or if it's because nobody talked to them about it. But, if our state representatives don't realize that we care, they're not really going to have a whole lot to say. It's just one more thing on their plate. But I'd like to see that. I'd like to see them more accountable, if there's anything we can do for that.
Thank you, Mrs. Morgan. The next County of Commissioners meeting will be Monday, April 15th, here in the chambers at 10 a.m., and we are officially in recess. Thank you.